Not all pets are as loyal as we think, and these surprising cases are clear proof that the evidence is undeniable. From unusual exotic pets to common household animals, these incidents left everyone in utter shock. What could have driven this creature to commit such horrific and unimaginable acts? And is it possible for these kinds of tragedies to happen again? So join us as we uncover the terrifying truth behind these unbelievable events, where pets turned against their owners in the most horrifying ways and devoured them in front of everyone. But before we start, if you're new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with videos like this. Number 10. Kellyanne Walsh and Black Bear. In 2009, Kellyanne Walsh was killed in a tragic and horrifying attack by her own pet black bear, Teddy, in Pennsylvania. Teddy had been a part of the Walsh family since he was a small cub. He was cared for and raised by Kelly's husband, a man with a strong passion for exotic animals. Over the years, a seemingly deep bond formed between the couple and the bear. They would often treat Teddy as if he were a member of the family, but as many have repeatedly warned, there is a thin line between love and the inherent danger of caring for a wild animal, even if it was raised in captivity. Then came the day they never expected. While Kelly was cleaning Teddy's cage, the unthinkable happened. The bear, who was once known to be gentle and seemingly affectionate, suddenly became aggressive. According to reports, Kelly was alone at that time and no one witnessed what exactly triggered the attack. In just a few moments, Teddy was able to knock her down. The attack was severe and it immediately resulted in her death. Despite the quick response of emergency personnel, it was clear that Kelly stood no chance against the nearly 400-pound bear. Black bears, even those raised by humans, have instincts that never go away and can be triggered at any time without warning. Will's family was not the only one shocked by this tragedy. The heated discussion about the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets resurfaced once again. Many people asked how this could happen despite years of training, familiarity, and what seemed like affection. Number 9. Pam Weaver and her camel. In 2007, a strange yet horrifying tragedy claimed the life of Pam Weaver, an Australian woman from New South Wales. She was killed in an incident involving a camel, an animal that was given to her as a birthday present. The camel given by her family was expected to bring joy and new experiences to Pam's life. Pam was known as someone with a deep love for animals, so she quickly became attached to her new pet. But instead of bringing happiness, it became the cause of her early death. One day, while Pam was in her yard, the camel's behavior suddenly changed. According to reports, the animal suddenly knocked her down and she fell face first to the ground. Unfortunately, she was crushed by the weight of the camel, which caused her to sustain severe injuries. She was immediately taken to the hospital, but she did not survive and passed away just a few moments later. Although the camel had been a part of her life for a long time, like many large animals cared for by humans, their natural instincts still remain. Even if familiar with humans, they can still be unpredictable and dangerous. It is believed that the aggressive behavior of the camel was triggered by stress or confusion, but until now, the exact reason is still unclear. Pam's family, friends, and the entire community were truly shocked by what happened to her, and it reopened the discussion about the dangers of keeping exotic or large animals as pets. There is no doubt about Pam's genuine love for animals, but this incident served as a harsh reminder that even relationships with good intentions toward wild creatures can end in death. Her loss highlighted the inherent danger of trying to keep as pets animals that are not meant to live in a home, no matter how suitable they may seem at first. 8. Martin Hadjos and his cassowary. In 2019, a tragedy that shocked many occurred in Florida when 75-year-old Martin Hadjos was killed. After he was attacked by his pet cassowary, a large, flightless bird native to Australia and New Guinea. Hadjos raised and bred these birds on his private property. According to reports, he was attacked by the cassowary after he fell near the animal. And although the attack was not considered intentional, it caused severe injuries that eventually led to his death. Authorities described the incident as a tragic accident and immediately conducted an investigation to determine the events that led to the tragedy. Cassowaries are often called the most dangerous birds in the world, and there is good reason for that. They can reach almost 6 feet in height and can weigh up to 130 pounds. They have very strong legs and razor-sharp claws that can inflict deadly injuries in just a few seconds. And while cassowary attacks on humans are rare, when they do happen, they often result in death. Hyos's death once again drew attention to the inherent dangers of keeping such powerful exotic animals. In the United States, there is a high interest among exotic animal collectors in these birds, and Hyos was known for keeping and breeding cassowaries. After the incident, the bird was placed under strict supervision on the private property, but there was no clear plan yet regarding its fate. Number 7. Andre Lumboga and his dog. A horrifying and tragic incident happened in Indonesia involving Andre Lumboga, a man from Manado. Lumboga left his 7 pet dogs without food and water for 2 weeks while he went on vacation. When he returned, he was met with a horrifying and shocking sight. The dogs, extremely hungry and desperate, actually attacked and killed him. After this, they even ate his body and only the skull was left. It might not have been immediately noticed what happened to him, if not for a watchful guard in their area. Because of the strong stench coming from inside the house, he immediately called the police. When the authorities entered, they found Lumboga's skull in the kitchen, while other parts of his body were found near the door of the house. Aside from Lumboga, it was also discovered that 2 more dogs were killed and eaten by their fellow dogs within the 2 weeks their owner was gone, which made the incident even more horrifying. The bitter irony of this story is that Lumboga came from Manado, a place known for its culture of eating dog meat. Despite this, it was the very animals he cared for as pets that ended his life. This tragedy shows the serious danger of neglecting animals, especially those that have the potential to become violent when subjected to extreme stress. 6. Pet Snake 6. A deeply tragic incident shook Florida in 2009 when 2-year-old Kenya Hare was killed after being attacked by the family's pet Burmese python named Gypsy. The snake, which was 8 feet and 6 inches long, escaped from its improperly secured enclosure. It was only covered with a blanket instead of a sturdy and secure lid. In the middle of the night, the snake crawled into Chayana's crib and attacked her while she was sound asleep. Burmese pythons, which are native to Southeast Asia, kill their prey by wrapping their powerful bodies around them and squeezing tightly until the victim can no longer breathe, eventually causing death. Chayana stood no chance against the snake's natural hunting instinct. When the authorities arrived, Chayana was already gone, and there were visible bite marks on her body. Her death shocked not only the local community, but also the wider public. The owners of the snake, Chayana's mother, Jiren Hare, and her boyfriend, Charles Darnell, had been keeping Gypsy as a pet for a long time, despite warnings about its dangers. The couple faced intense criticism not only for keeping such a powerful and dangerous reptile, but also for failing to secure its enclosure properly. They admit that they knew Gypsy had made previous attempts to escape, but they did not take enough steps to ensure it was secure. This will not happen again. This horrifying incident has reopened the discussion about the dangers of keeping exotic animals, especially in homes with children. Experts have long warned the public against keeping animals like the Burmese python. Their natural instincts are never completely suppressed, and often the danger outweighs the benefits of ownership. Florida officials use this tragedy as a call for stricter regulation. This includes the obligation to have escape-proof enclosures. Number 5, Muhammad and his pet monkey. In Malaysia, in some places, it's common to train monkeys to pick coconuts because they're skilled at climbing trees. and sometimes even faster than humans. Because of this, 72-year-old N. Muhammad thought of training his pet monkey for the same task. At first glance, the idea seemed harmless, but it ended in a deadly tragedy. The monkey, which Muhammad had cared for a long time, was not prepared for the task given to it. Instead of fetching coconuts, it attacked its owner. He was bitten severely, especially on the wrist where a major artery was torn. His son Maud Zakaria heard the commotion and immediately ran to the scene. Unfortunately, when he approached his father's unconscious body, the monkey also turned on him and bit him on the leg. His screams alerted the neighbors, who immediately responded. And because it was scared of the crowd, the monkey ran away into the forest, leaving behind a horrifying scene. They responded quickly, not just the authorities, but also the Malaysian Department of Wildlife and National Parks. The monkey was tracked and sedated with a tranquilizer. Due to its aggression, it's believed the animal was put down, though this hasn't been officially confirmed. Number 4, Mark Bogle and his exotic pet. Mark Bogle, a 30-year-old from Dortmund, Germany, was involved in a strange and very serious accident involving his collection of exotic pets. Bogle was known for keeping over 200 spiders, several reptiles, and other unusual creatures right inside his apartment. In fact, his residence resembled a real jungle. Among his most dangerous pets were venomous species like the black widow spider, which he often handled without fear. However, in early 2004, one of his favorite pets, a black widow, bit him, which led to his sudden death. It is believed that the spider's venom, along with complications from other animals in the apartment, caused his death. When his body was discovered, the scene was truly disturbing. The police found Bogle surrounded by his pets, including lizards and tarantulas, were already feeding on his remains. The apartment, with its dim green lighting, had a terrifying atmosphere. According to reports, there were spiders crawling out of his nose and mouth. In addition, thousands of termites and other creatures made the scene even more intense. Number 3, Paul McDonald and his pet deer. Paul McDonald, a farmer from Australia, was killed in 2019 after an unexpected attack by a hybrid red deer and elk known as a wapiti. The animal had been cared for on the farm for many years and was generally known to be gentle. However, everything changed when the mating season arrived. During this period, known as the rutting season, male deer experience a significant increase in testosterone, which leads to aggressive and territorial behavior. On the morning the attack happened, Paul went to feed the animal, unaware that it had already undergone a dangerous change in behavior because of the rut. When his wife and child heard the commotion, they immediately ran to help. But the animal became even more violent. In the midst of the chaos, Paul's wife was injured while trying to intervene, and their child ran to get help. Unfortunately, Paul was severely injured and eventually passed away. Despite the quick arrival of paramedics and police, he could no longer be saved. And to prevent further harm, the hybrid deer had to be put down. Paul's wife was rushed to the hospital and underwent several operations and eventually recovered from her injuries. Studies show that in wild deer populations, the increase in testosterone during the rutting season can cause intense aggression. It has also been proven that castration and separation from other deer can help prevent such incidents. However, in this case, despite the animal's relative isolation, the combination of hormones and the breeding season drove it into the chain of events that led to the tragedy. Number 2, Ronald Huff and his monitor lizard. In 2002 in Delaware, an incident occurred when Ronald Huff, a man known for his passion for reptiles, was killed by his pet monitor lizard. Huff, 42 years old, had long been keeping various exotic animals, including large monitor lizards, inside his home. He was found dead in his home, and the cause of his death was severe injuries inflicted by his own pets. He had cared for them for a long time and felt deeply connected to the animals as part of his home. Monitor lizards, known for their size and strength, are native to Asia and Africa and can grow up to 10 feet long. Although they are not usually aggressive towards humans, they remain wild animals and their natural instincts can be unpredictable, especially when they feel threatened or are forced to defend themselves. According to authorities, Huff was found by his wife severely injured and is believed to have been attacked by the monitor lizards after an altercation or an accident during feeding. A common factor in such incidents is the combination of strong and large animals in a confined space and the lack of proper caution or decision-making, which leads to tragedy. Although Huff's love for his reptiles was clear, this also showed the great danger of keeping wild animals at home without the proper knowledge and caution. After his passing, Delaware and other states reviewed their regulations on keeping dangerous exotic animals such as monitor lizards.
After number 1,
DC-20 and a crocodile. In January 2019, DC-20, head of a pearl farm laboratory in North Sulawesi, Indonesia, was involved in a tragedy that involved a crocodile named Mary. The 4.4-meter-long crocodile was being kept illegally in an outdoor enclosure on the laboratory grounds. According to reports, while DC-20 was feeding Mary, the tragedy happened when DC accidentally fell into the enclosure, or she was pulled in by the strong crocodile, which may have jumped using its powerful tail, something highly unusual for crocodiles. When her companions discovered the scene, Mary had already partially eaten DC, including one of her hands and almost her entire abdomen. This horrifying incident shocked the local authorities and raised many questions about the safety and legality of keeping such dangerous animals in a workplace. Removing Mary from the enclosure required a large, coordinated operation. The police and the military collaborated, and wildlife officials worked for 3 hours to sedate and ensure the crocodile's safety. In the end, Mary was brought to a wildlife rescue center, tied to a flatbed truck. Now, how about you? Do you know anyone who was eaten by their own pet? Let us know in the comments. And before we end, if you enjoyed our video, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. And, of course, we'll see you again in our next video.